Welcome to Backline Banter. Today, of course, we've got a highlight round. As you can see, if you clicked on the YouTube video, a massive game, Chelsea versus Arsenal. Sadly, though, for Chelsea and for the Chelsea fans, they got absolutely battered. A 5-0 beating. Arsenal at home, completely dominant, taking their chances, and I mean, there's no way better to put it than Arsenal just destroy them. So, fair enough to Arsenal and good on them. And really, they are cementing their spot in this title race, that's for sure. They've been up there, they've been competing with Man City, with Liverpool, and they had a bit of a shaky form for the new year. A little bit shaky. It was, are we seeing Arsenal fall off? But they had a couple games, it was a bit, how are you going? But now they are on track. They are on fire. I mean, I don't know how many wins in a row that is, or games without losing in the Premier League, but it must be a lot, you know, if we're taking away that Aston Villa game. And yeah, on fire, unreal. It is really good football to watch. I'll be honest, you know, Liverpool fan, of course, it's a little bit painful to say that, especially when we've had some shaky results lately, but you know, you've got to give the plaudits to Arsenal. And yeah, the London derby absolutely smashed them 5-0. So what were my thoughts on the game? Well, I thought it was pretty solid, all in all. I thought both teams played decently well, and I know what you're saying, like, mate, it was 5-0. I don't think Chelsea played that well. Look, I don't think they were horrible. I do think, of course, they could have done better, but it just wasn't really their day. They had chances, you know, on the break attacking, but just couldn't put any of them away. The goal scorers in that game, Trossard in the 4th minute, Ben White with the double in the 52nd minute and the 70th minute, and Kai Havertz also with a brace in the 57th minute and the 65th. So good on him, you know, Kai Havertz doing pretty well at the moment in form, you know, getting the goals. I think he could have had 3 or 4 at least, but, you know, just missing the chances. But as long as he's taking some, you know, the morale's high for him, so fair enough. And then, mate, Ben White, fair play. The 2 goals, you know, I think before this game, he's only ever scored 2 goals in his career for Arsenal. Something like that, maybe don't quote me, but to get a brace in this game, unreal. I mean, we may as well talk about the goals now. Like Trossard's, you know, beautiful. I believe it was Odegaard that slipped him in and just bang through the keeper's legs and goal. Easy as you like. Then the Ben White's first goal, it was very shaky defending for Chelsea because, you know, Arsenal have a corner, they play it short, and they don't even really have a man going out to those 2 men. You know, they eventually did. I believe it was Mudryk that just started jogging up, but you got to have somebody there straight away to sprint into them. I just had too much space, played the passes, and then, you got to see the picture for this one. So the players on the top of the box, you know, they played it short, played one pass, and then they cut it back for Declan Rice. And the space he is allowed to run in and have a shot is unreal. You know, from just defending a corner, you know, of course it went short, but how have they allowed so much space for Declan Rice? Like, you've got to at least have a man drop him back to cover that. And yeah, I mean, you see the pictures, it tells a story. So much space, he just runs into it, hits it, little deflection off the Chelsea defender, you know, a decent block, and then falls in the path of Ben White. And he doesn't lash out at it, you know, he doesn't blaze it at all. He just composed a striker finish, really, and curls it into the corner. So good on him. And Kai Havertz's first goal, I think it was taken pretty well. I don't remember exactly because the game did happen a couple days ago, but I remember it hit the top of the roof, and yeah, beautiful finish. And Ben White's second goal, we got to talk about this one. I mean, did he mean to do it? Did he not? I mean, I know my opinion on this one. I don't think he meant to do it at all. And I was, you know, talking to an Arsenal fan, a friend of mine, and he's like, yeah, there's no way. He's looking for that back post pass, and it just came off his foot a little bit wrong. It wasn't off the shin, but it was kind of like side of the leg. Very awkward, but it just did beautiful. The ball carried over into that corner, and I mean, if you're Ben White, you take that every day of the week. But it was definitely looking for those runners back post. But again, sublime play from Arsenal. Ben White isn't always that man who makes those runs, constantly, like a Trent Alexander-Arnold or a Robertson, you could say. But every, game about maybe 4 or 5 times, he just makes a darting run in there. And yeah, it was just good play. Arsenal play it back and then over to Ben White. And then that's where, had a bounce and then had that little volley of a cross, and then it ended up going in. But, you take that. I believe the last game, Arsenal and Chelsea played each other. Mudryk got a bit lucky as well when he was chucking it across, but it went all the way into the goal, caught Raya out a little bit. So maybe a bit of misfortune for Chelsea, karma coming around. But, you take those every day of the week. And to be honest, if it didn't hit the back of the net and it was just slightly back, one of the Arsenals running back post probably would have gotten it. So you can't complain. And then, yeah, Kai Havertz getting his second goal. I don't remember that one, but, that's the best thing when you're in a team scoring so many goals is, I don't remember that 5th goal. I don't remember Kai Havertz's second goal. It's so good rather than beating a team, 2-0 maybe. And it was like, oh, yeah, Ben White's goal was good and so was Trossard's. But, they're in great form. I mean, if you're an Arsenal fan, you've got to be loving it. You're really pushing through the end and keeping the pressure on Man City, which I think they need to keep on doing, because it's really the only way City might fumble it. It is constant pressure by Arsenal, playing very dominant football. And it will be interesting to see who wins out of those two, because as of the time recording, the Everton-Liverpool game did happen, and I'll have a video at that pretty soon, probably the following day, and I'm going to record this one after that. Yeah, painful it is, but I mean, I got asked this question a fair bit, like, who would I rather win the league, Arsenal or Manchester City? Honestly, I don't really know. I don't mind, to be honest, because Arsenal, it's good. If they do win the Premier League title, haven't won it for ages, Arsenal fans. But then again, it is fun taking the mickey out of those fans as well, like, oh, good result. Bottling it again 2 years in a row. But then again, on the Man City side of things, you think, oh, well, they won another league. 4 in a row now? They've won like the last 6 titles out of 7 seasons. I don't know the stats, but it's something crazy. And yeah, you just think, oh yeah, City won it again. It's a bit boring. Of course, a very entertaining race up until the end. And I mean, it still is for Arsenal and City. But yeah, Liverpool dropping out, that bit painful, but not too sure who I would rather win the league. And I'll run you through the stats of this game, the main ones, the one that I like to focus on. So the possession stat, a little bit surprised on, to be honest. Arsenal 44% and Chelsea 56%. So I would have thought Arsenal have a bit more of the ball, to be honest, especially at home, just playing it round and then attacking through. But it seems like Chelsea held it pretty nicely, not doing much, just playing it round the back and then trying to get forward. It gets intercepted, then Arsenal do their play and then they attack. But I thought the main attacks for Chelsea was a bit of counter-attack. I didn't watch the whole game, so, I'm just trying to a bit of an estimate of what I thought happened. But, the stats, I thought they're a little bit surprising. And then, of course, as you expect, Arsenal dominant in the shots. 27 shots, 10 on target to Chelsea's 7 shots, 1 on target. So it just shows you when they had the ball, which it was pretty even. It was, 44-56, pretty even. They were just so much more clinical with it. And I mean, you can't complain with that, really. It's what games are about these days. And, well, not just these days, but they always have been. If you can take your chances, you're more likely to win the game. And I mean, prime example, I don't want to bring up Liverpool again, but Liverpool, dominant in the past fair few games, but they're just not clinical with their chances, and that's what cost them. And when Arsenal and Manchester City at the moment clinical with their chances, dominating, I mean, they're very, very difficult to beat them. So good on Arsenal. I thought a very good performance. You could say though for Chelsea, reason they lost, Cole Palmer not in the squad. Now, he was out due to illness, got the flu or something, so he was unable to play this game at the Emirates. But is Cole Palmer's influence on Chelsea that massive as when he doesn't play, Chelsea find it really hard to score? Of course, they find it hard to score in general, but this game here, they had 7 shots, 1 on target, but they had a fair few attacks in general, but were just unable to let the shot fly. So without Cole Palmer, is that really costing Chelsea? Because of course he is such a big star for the club, shining in this season. I mean, what a youngster he is, 20 goals in the Premier League, 9 assists maybe, I don't know, it's something crazy. He's absolutely shined in there, and why he's so good is because he's clinical. If someone like Nicholas Jackson was clinical, Mudryk was clinical, I don't reckon they'd have the same amount of goals, but they wouldn't be too far off it. And that's the main thing. And Cole Palmer's got that, doesn't miss a penalty, clinical. And then when he has the chance with the shot, more times than not, he does score. So just a bit of a thought there, it would have been interesting if Cole Palmer did play, but of course you can't just say, oh yeah, Chelsea fans, we were missing one player, our best player, that's why we lost 5-0. Well, no, it's an 11v11 team sport, and if you're missing one player, then it shouldn't matter that much. And I think if Cole Palmer did play, Arsenal still would have dominated, but maybe Chelsea get a goal or two, just because his attacking threat, his chances he creates, the chances he takes, unreal. So good on Arsenal winning 5-0 against Chelsea. Now, if you enjoyed this little highlight round, this clip, it would be very much appreciated if you give me a subscribe, give me a like, whatever you can do to support the channel. And don't forget to check out the full podcast on Backline Banter. It's on any podcast listening app. Search it up, give us a follow there, and see you later.